Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danielle and today I'm going to be talking about all of the new April releases that I'm really excited for, as well as my TBR. So I'm just going to jump right on into this because April has a ton of new releases that I am super excited for. And the first one that I'm going to be talking about is Only and Forever by Chloe Liese, which comes out on April 2nd. And this is book 7 of the Bergman Brothers series and is her last book in this series. So this follows Vigo, who is one of the Bergman brothers, and Tallulah. They are trying to help each other out. Vigo's store is not doing so well and he needs another set of hands, and Tallulah is a writer and she is having some problems with the romance plot of her story. Vigo is very well known for having a lot of knowledge about romance novels, so they decide to try and help each other out, and they actually end up living with each other as well. And because they live in such close quarters, they end up discovering a connection that challenges all of their views about love. I've really enjoyed all of the Bergman Brothers books, and I can't wait for this one to come out. And then next up on April 3rd is A Beginner's Guide to Demonic Possessions by Shannon. This is book 6 in her Demonic Disasters and Afterlife Adventures series. So this one follows Trent, who is a human who is not looking forward to another Valentine's Day on his own. He actually ends up becoming possessed by Paz, who is our demon character. He soon realizes that Valentine's Day doesn't have to be a horrific holiday filled with loneliness and despair, and Trent and Paz might actually be a match made in heaven. Or hell. Then on April 4th, we get Tongue-Tied by Cassie. This is book 2 in her Practice Makes Perfect series. Tongue-Tied is a short insta-love novella that follows a shy student and the man that will coax her out of her shell. I've talked about Cassie before. I love her novellas. They all run about 60 to 70 pages, so they're super quick reads. I think I read about 45 of her books last year, and so far this year I am actually up to date on everything, so I'm just reading them as they come out now. But definitely pick her up if you like a quick insta-love romance. And then also on April 4th, we have 3 Ways to Mend a Broken Heart by Trilina Pucci. This is book 2 in her Destination Love series. Unfortunately, I actually DNF'd book 1. I do want to pick it back up. It wasn't a problem with the book. It was actually a problem with me at the time. I was just not in the mood to read that, and it was dragging me down. I was enjoying it. I just don't really know what was going on, so I am going to pick that one up before I pick this one up. But this one actually follows a woman who gets broken up with. She ends up going on a vacation that she had planned, and her ex-boyfriend brings his new girlfriend with him. So she wants to get back at him, and the only way for her to do that is actually in the arms of 2 other men. So it seems like there are actually 3 ways to mend a broken heart. Hopefully I'll be able to read both of them this month. If not, I will definitely catch up soon. Then we jump towards mid-month, and on April 17th, we have The Succubus's Prize by Katee Robert. This is book 5 in her A Deal with a Demon series. This one follows Belladonna, who was apparently born wrong. Her family, her religious community, and her sister all believe this. When her sister comes down with cancer, so trigger warning for cancer, she ends up having to make a deal with a demon. All she's required to do is serve. She's actually auctioned off to Rusalka, who is one of the territory leaders, and they are being auctioned off in order to bear children and continue on their line. After a set number of years of serving, she is allowed to go home, but if she bears a child, she must leave this child in the territory here. It seems like Rusalka, though, doesn't want to let her go, and I'm very excited to see what happens in this book. I have enjoyed all of the other ones. And then next up on April 18th, we have Mercy and Her Devils from Rosemary A. Johns, and this is book 6 in her Pack Bonds series. So this follows Mercy, who is an Omega, so this is an Omegaverse, who has a broken bond. She is sent back to the Institute, and she actually finds another Omega there, and they form a bond, and they decide that they are going to leave together and find a pack. And with both of their heats approaching, they are broken out of the Institute by a mysterious alpha pack. They end up being everything she wants in a pack, but she's worried that when they discover the secrets of her past, they're not going to want her. I'm very excited to see what her secrets are, and I can't wait for this one to come out. Next up on April 23rd is Funny Story by Emily Henry. This follows Daphne, who is engaged to Peter. Peter, though, realizes that he's in love with his childhood best friend Petra, so he breaks up with Daphne and leaves her to fend for herself. Daphne is new to town, she doesn't have any friends or family around, and she is a children's librarian, so it does not pay the best. She needs a new place to live, so she actually suggests to Petra's ex that they room together. Miles is Petra's ex, and he is pretty scruffy and chaotic. They don't get along all that well and try to avoid each other while they're home, but one day they end up drowning their sorrows and come up with a plan. So they decide to get back at Petra and Peter by posting some misleading photos of their summer together. But that's all for show, because there's no way that Daphne could fall for her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex, right? I'm a huge fan of Emily Henry's romances. Quite a few of them have gotten 5 stars for me, and I'm really excited for this one. Next up, on April 30th, we have Hexennacht. Not sure if I'm saying that right, but this is by C.M. Nascosta, and this is book 2 in the Wheel of the Year series. Since this is book 2 in a series, I don't really want to spoil anything for you, but this follows a witch and a spider-like character, and it is very high heat, and I am super excited for it. I'm definitely not a fan of spiders, but the first book in this series was not that bad, so if you don't like spiders, that's okay. Give it a try and see what you think. And then lastly, on April 30th as well, we have Truly, Madly, Deeply by Alexandria Bellefleur. This book follows a lovelorn romance novelist and a divorce lawyer who has sworn off relationships. They have agreed to co-host a podcast that offers dating advice to their viewers. As they go from enemies to friends to something else altogether, they discover that they have more in common than they originally thought, including their shared queerness. When their attraction reaches a fever pitch, Truly is truly happy for the first time in years. Yet she can't help but wonder, is Colin truly, madly, deeply in love with her? Or is it all too good to be true? I am so excited for all of these new releases to come out next month, and I can't wait to get my hands on them. Next up, though, I have my TBR for April. So for my TBR this month, you are probably going to be a little bit familiar with these 2 books. I have put them on my TBR before, and the first one that I'm going to talk about is The Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzon. So just like last time, I don't want to spoil myself by reading the inside dust jacket, so I'm just going to read a little bit of what's on the back of this one. The Night Empire casts a long shadow over the land. Nothing can stand in the way of its might and power. Year by year, the hurricane wars take and take, and yet there is hope in the darkness. One lone light stands against the empire. I'm very excited to get to this one, and I really, really hope to pick it up in April. And then next up is Faebound by Saara El-Arifi. This one I know follows 2 sisters who are looking for a better life, and there are fae in this. I'm a huge fan of fae, so I can't wait to read this one. But the back of it says, divided by blood, imprisoned by fate, bound by desire, welcome to the intoxicating world of the fae. I'm super excited for both of these, and if I get them done, that will help on my reading challenge that I'm doing this year to actually read the book box books that I get. But that's it for the video today. Comment down below and let me know what's on your TBR for April, or if you think I've missed any new releases that I should be aware about, and I'll see you next time. Bye!